Hi, folks. I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical
Because
therapist.
we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course.
Vikings
Bob.
won. Vikings. Today,
Do they play football?
Today, Brad, we're going to talk about shoulder impingement, pain, the 7 best tips for pain relief and movement. Now, I'd like to say that a lot of these are probably less common exercises and stretches and massages that you may not see anywhere else.
Well, in a way, but I think it's a really going to be effective technique.
Yeah, they're important.
Right, exactly. And the whole concept is to get the muscles loosened up that are tight and strengthen the ones that need to be strengthened. Okay. But first of all, I wanted to talk a little bit about shoulder impingement.
Sure.
That's what it's about. How do you know you have shoulder impingement if you're not a therapist or a doctor? Just by symptoms. I can't guarantee it, but oftentimes some of the most common symptoms is the location is typically right in here. You'll feel it not always where the impingement is there, but it'll travel down the shoulder a little bit. Sometimes
That's what makes it difficult to do, isn't it? Because the problem is happening here, but the pain goes here and sometimes up.
Yep, depends how serious it is, sometimes up in the neck. The other thing is once you elevate up to about 90 degrees, that's when the impingement typically starts. Not down here, but up here. And one thing I found in the painful arc syndrome, I'm sure you've seen this, where they'll get up to about 90 degrees, ouch, it hurts a little bit, but once they get past a certain place, then it's okay.
Yeah,
and then down in here.
We see both versions, Brad. At least I do. I see where it goes up and there's pain and then it stops paining.
Yep.
And I've also seen where it goes up and there's pain all the way through.
Right.
Depending which tendon it is and where on the tendon it's hitting.
Exactly.
So, but either way, you can think of it like the tendon is getting pinched, which is like an impingement.
Right, and I want to show that on Bonaparte.
All right, sounds good.
But first, I saw a few people walking in.
All right, if you are new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos on how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. Also, like us on Facebook. Brad and I would sincerely, that's the word I was looking for, sincerely appreciate you liking us.
Right, because I know he likes me, but I like some real people.
He's one of the few people that does.
Okay, so we're going to look at this red TheraBand here, stretch band.
Stretch tube.
Yep. Now that represents the supraspinatus tendon, and that's the one that gets pinched. And you can see down in here, the gap where my finger is.
I'm sorry, there's a pen.
There we go.
So right here is where it can get pinched.
Right. And you can see when you get up to this range.
Yep, there's less space here.
Right.
And that narrows up, and then that's where the impingement.
Right.
And what happens over time, this roughens up the tendon, and eventually it can get to the point where it actually tears, and that's where you get a rotator cuff tear.
Right, and that's a problem. So we want to get
bad.
Exactly. So we want to get this to come down, drop down, and have plenty of room in there, and that's what these exercises are going to do.
Right.
So, first of all, a lot of times this can come on strictly, particularly the people that have shoulder pain without any apparent reason. They didn't fall down, they're not over it, they're not pitching a hard ball, but they get symptoms, impingement symptoms, and it's because of this, Bob.
Yep.
Poor posture, working
very
at a desk.
Shoulder is internally rotated.
Right.
And what does that? That's the pectoralis major and minor.
Right. Well, yeah, it's because people aren't paying attention, but then these muscles tighten up, and it gets worse and worse, it compounds. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on loosening these muscles up to allow this range of motion to occur. And right here, we're going to take a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball, and we're going to get into that pectoralis major and pectoralis minor. You can just do it with your thumb if you want.
I was going to say, Brad, you can start with your thumb or even your fingers.
Right.
And this is how I've done it, which I've been amazed at, Brad. When you do this and you work in, actually the fibers run this way, so I'm massaging this way.
Yep.
And I'm massaging pretty deep when I'm doing it. But I'm shocked after I do this, how much easier it is to keep my shoulders upright, and externally rotated and in a good position.
And again, when we get that posture, it minimizes greatly the impingement risk. And if your fingers get sore or tired, you can again take the ball and work in there, and then you can roll on it, and again, up and down the fibers, get in there deep. If you got someone else to help you, even more power to you, that's wonderful.
And if you really want to get fancy, go ahead and use the Pure Wave massager. This is our favorite massager on the market right now. And because it has percussion,
Right.
it doesn't just vibrate, it percusses.
Right.
So that makes all the difference. And what we have on here is the pointer head. They have a whole bunch of them. They have a softer one. This is the air-filled stick. This is the pointer stick. I like this one, but this might be too much for people to start with.
Right, you may need this one. Because there's a lot of if you're a pretty muscular person, then you'll want the pointer stick, and you can get in there and work that. And this is a lot easier than working with your fingers, believe me. But you can still use your fingers or
Sounds like
the
you're
ball.
talking into one of those fans.
Okay.
All right, so that, and I know this is something, what's nice about this, Brad, you can do this, you're at your desk, and you can do a little bit of massaging like this while
Throughout
you're,
the day.
while you're looking at your computer or watching TV or whatever
Exactly.
you're doing. So.
And then the next thing is we need to, why don't you stand up and turn around. Right here, if these muscles get tight here, they don't allow the scapula to rotate up. And that's part of the mechanics that's going to help free up and eliminate that impingement. So
I think we should show that just real quickly on here, Brad, because I don't think people understand this.
Sure.
When you bring your arm up, the shoulder up, this bone also moves. And if this bone, the shoulder blade doesn't move,
Right.
you can't get your arm all the way up.
You get that
and you
impingement.
start getting things
Right.
impinged a lot faster.
So like my hand is here, that scapula has to rotate up like this, and there's muscles connected from this part of the scapula to the bones, and if they're tight, they won't, can you hold on to them,
Yeah,
please?
sure.
They won't allow that stretch, but if we can allow them to stretch out and we get that motion. We're going to have a video demonstrating this very well coming up in another couple of days too,
Sure.
so keep an eye out for that. So to work
So
those,
it's really strange. You got to work all these muscles around the shoulder. You're thinking, why aren't we working on the shoulder? Well, we are, because these muscles come into the shoulder and they affect the shoulder.
right, they're all
So-
connected. I'm going to pull this out a little bit, Bob, and I like to use a roller to self-treat to get the muscles in the back. Plus, it's going to help the spine for posture. It's a win-win situation. I like this roller. It's soft, density.
Yep.
And when you're rolling in your back, it's a little uncomfortable if you get the real hard density one. And this one's from OPTP. I think they have some of the best rollers on the market.
Yeah, we've got it down in our link below, Brad, on our favorite products.
Sure,
This
you bet.
one's on there.
So I'm going to, I just cavitated, Bob. Oh, this is one
When
of my
he says
favorites.
cavitated, what he means is that his back cracked.
Yeah. Oh, and you're going to work. You know, you're not going to get up on the neck. It's going to be from about, where the shoulder blades start to where the shoulder blades end. You're not going to go into your low back, and you're just going to roll back in here and relax. Oh, there. Okay. You could do that longer if you wanted to, but we
Sure.
got to get on with the show. Okay.
So easy way to stretch it.
Yeah.
And plus you're getting a little bit of stretch of the mid-back too, so you're getting a double bonus there. Which, by the way, Brad, if you are tight this way,
Yeah.
that's also going to affect your shoulder and cause more impingement.
Sure.
We always like to show this little thing, don't we, Brad? Here I am with bad posture. Look how high. That's as far as I can go.
Right.
That's as far as I can go. Now, good posture, and I go all the way up.
And,
So-
even if you're not really slunched over, if you're standing tall but your shoulders are forward, it's the same thing.
Yeah. And right now he's pinching when he's going forward, if he's like that.
Right.
And when you're straightened up. And so that does two things. It straightens you up, straightens out the back, and it stretches the rhomboids.
Exactly.
So-
Okay, the next thing, the latissimus dorsi, that muscle also pulls the humerus in and forward and can
Internally rotates.
Right. So we want to get that stretched out as well. You can go up to a wall if it doesn't hurt your shoulder. Get your hand glued to the wall and stretch here. Or you can just do it on a table or a countertop. I'm going to pull, kind of grab here, let your hand stick to the tabletop and pull and stretch here. And the next thing that we found to be even better yet
Yep.
is this, actually one of our viewers a few years ago brought this book to our attention. We both
Yeah.
read the book. It's by an orthopedic surgeon. We found that hanging, like on a pull-up bar, can do wonderful things. It stretches the lats and it can
This
open
is a
up
cool
the gap.
book. I mean, and if you listen to his reasoning, it's very sound. It's John Kirsch,
Yep,
right?
John Kirsch, MD. He's actually not too far. He only from Stevens Point, not too far
Oh,
from
is he
here.
really?
Yeah, about 150 miles or so.
Shoulder pain, the solution and prevention. We'll
Yeah.
put this down in our list too. I think we've used enough.
Oh, yeah.
Brad and I both do some hanging.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so simple. I mean, who can't do it? You just hang.
Well, you have to have a pull-up bar.
You have to have a pull-up
Right.
bar, right? And actually also then has some exercises in there you can do along with that.
Sure. Yeah.
So-
It gives you, and it's not a really complicated book. It's you know,
Yeah, it's real simple.
it's a simple, it's a good read for the
He
layperson.
gives a lot of case studies.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
It's all scientifically based.
so
Okay.
All right, next one, Brad, is bringing the foam roller back out, right?
You better believe it. Now, you need the long foam roller for this. If you have the 18-inch one, it's going to be too short. Get the 36-inch one. And even if you don't have shoulder pain, this is a great one for posture also, like the previous one. I'm going to get my head to rest on there, and I'm just going to have it go right down the center of my spine and just let gravity work.
He's opening things up there.
Yep, take a few deep breaths as you do this and completely relax. And you can, just hang out here for, 3 to 5 minutes and just relax and let things stretch out. Get those shoulders to go back. And boy, you can just feel it open up. Your breathing, everything works better. That's the simple one.
Did you want to show strengthening, Brad, or have we had enough?
Well, yeah, so now the whole big picture is we've got the muscles here loosened up so
Yep.
they can go back. We've got the muscles in back loose so that the scapula can rotate forward. So everything is set up. Now we do need to add a little strength. We're just going to get into this, but these are pretty much 2 gold standards for
Right.
impingement. First one is external rotation. Okay, you need to have some kind of resistance band like this. We've got this hooked up to the wall here. Now, this is really important that my elbow stays here, and I don't do this, and I don't do this, but it's just like this.
Yeah, going
okay?
out.
And then the other one, now this one you don't have to have a band. Bob, you can demonstrate it maybe without the band, but with a third band, we're going to go back and get those shoulder blades to come back and down. Back and down. Oh, you can do it standing.
Oh, I see. Yeah, just doing these.
Right,
You're
yeah.
squeezing your shoulder blades together.
Yeah, it's same motion, but no resistance with the band, but it's still, and come down, think about coming down. Your shoulder blades don't come down, but you think about it, then the lower traps kick in, which is helpful to get that proper scapular
Sometimes
motion.
we even do this one. We would do this way, hit the road, Jack.
Yeah. So
Hit the road, Jack.
and that helps emphasize that
Right,
rotator.
the
Yeah,
external rotation.
it's
so
a really nice way to.
get both of them.
Yep, exactly.
So remember, folks, we can fix just about anything.
I'm glad you said that, Bob. Except a
Broken heart.
yeah, but we're working
We
on
haven't
it.
said it in a while.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering. That's a good way to finish her
Thanks
out.
for watching.